That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Blind Wave Podcast. It's been a little while since our typical podcast, but this one also has a unique special occasion-ish thing because there's now.
Because Calvin sneezed?
Damn it, Calvin.
Calvin sneezes
I'm allergic
often.
to surprises.
That's not special.
Because we get to do the multi-stream, one for the first time for podcast, and we haven't actually gotten to talk about that at all, but this is viewable live. Damn it, Calvin.
I surprised Jake.
Okay. No, see, I was super surprised because I've never only heard you sneeze once.
That's
So
true.
I've never said that.
I sneezed a couple times as I was walking down here, so that was the third leftover.
Oh, it's just been lingering.
yeah.
You haven't gotten rid of it. I see. But no, we're getting to multi-stream now. Twitch recently removed where you can only stream to one location. So we are streaming. We started with Mario and Spider-Man recently.
Yep.
Over on the gaming channel.
Yep.
But now podcast and pretty much everything now will be streaming to Twitch, and also you'll be able to see a stream over on YouTube. And it also leaves the VOD available on YouTube as soon as it's done, so you can catch it there too. But we are using the Twitch chat and questions and all that because YouTube doesn't quite have it the same way.
It doesn't have a dark mode. Sons of bitches.
Does it not?
I don't think so.
I got mine on dark mode somehow. Maybe I was grandfathered in. I don't know.
Maybe.
You know what I'm going to miss, Aaron?
What?
I'm going to miss forgetting to put the VOD of the podcast up for multiple days after it aired. Because that was usually on me.
Yep. That'll be nice. So
Yeah.
as soon as things are done now, I had Spider-Man streams. That's available on YouTube right away. This podcast will be available on YouTube right away. I mean, you can still watch stuff on Twitch, and I'll still try to make sure things are highlighted for there. But the YouTube VODs will be so nice to just be there because I know a lot of people like the UI and the way that the YouTube videos work as opposed to how Twitch works with a lot of that. So, but yeah, welcome. Glad you guys could join us today.
Yes.
Yeah, welcome.
How's everyone been doing? Because it has been a long time since we've had a podcast.
Oh, Aaron, it's been the best of times. It's been the worst of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has been a while since we've done podcasts. No, for me, yeah, some great things have happened. Not great things have happened. So I guess sum total, neutral.
Neutral.
I guess so.
Yeah, that's how I would sum up your life for the last couple weeks.
Yeah, neutral. No, I've moved into a new home that my wife and I bought, which has been a long time coming. And I don't think we really truly realized how much we needed it until we got it. Because compared to our old place, it's a whole different thing. It's
a whole new house.
it's a whole new house, but it's also just we were making a lot of compromises in our old home. And we'll have to do that now. So
Good.
that's been great. Obviously, a kind of a slower process, and it's always going to take time to create the new normal and all that. But while that was happening, my dad, who just didn't tell us what was going on, is my mic really loud? I can.
It was. It's
Jake's
fixed
fixed it.
now.
Okay, sorry about that.
Eric's always really loud, guys.
Yeah, I know. I have to modulate myself. I'm so sorry. But yeah, my dad had some stuff going on with his heart, so we had to drive up to Cleveland for open heart surgery. And if anybody's ever taken a hardened farmer to the hospital for 14 days, it is not the best environment for him. I'll say that. So that's been crazy. But I will say the craziest part, and my dad will tell you this is the craziest part, is he had surgery, and then we had some couple complications after that, so we needed to have a pacemaker put in. So my brother and my sister and I have kind of been, taking shifts, making sure that he's not up there by himself or anything. So on my shift, it was the day that he's getting a pacemaker put in. And they come and get him out of the room. They're taking him back to the operation room, and I'm with him. I don't want him being by himself. And the doctor comes out and looks at him and goes, "Have I treated you before?" And my dad goes, "No, I don't think so. I don't think I've met you before, like this specific person." And he goes, "You look familiar." And then he looked at me and he's like, "You look familiar too." And I'm like, I don't, he's like, "Have I treated you?" And I'm like, "No." He goes, you look like this guy that I watched on YouTube. These guys that watch TV and movies. And my dad looks at him and is like, yeah. He does that. He's about ready to go into surgery. The doctor recognized me from YouTube.
That's funny.
I thought that was so funny. And then I noticed he was wearing a Star Wars, like, beanie on his head.
Oh, really?
And he
One of
started
the-
going
one of
off
the
about,
haircat
oh, yeah,
things.
what your guys' reaction to The Mandalorian Season 2 finale? I watch that all the time. And then he left, and I looked at Dad, and I'm like, are you sure you want one of our fans operating on you? So that was a crazy moment for us.
Is that one of those moments?
Brought
like,
some levity to the
has
situation.
your dad ever? He's never been around when something like that's happened, right?
I
Like,
don't think so. No.
I remember talking before whenever like
Yeah.
you were going and meeting like Jancy and stuff too,
Uh-huh.
and you were like, okay, well she went off to go do this.
Yeah, she would go off, and then you get recognized.
And then someone recognizes, like, dang it, why can't anyone show up whenever she's here to
Yeah.
believe that, like, this is the stuff
It's
we
a
do.
thing.
Yeah, it's real.
No,
So-
we never get recognized in our own hometown. But when you go to a bigger city, it happens. There was a few other people, primarily younger people that weren't PhDs or I'm sorry, MDs, that recognized me. But I was by myself. But yeah, that's the first time it happened with my dad.
That's cool.
It was pretty fun.
I had one, I think I told you guys recently maybe,
Yeah.
here at Qdoba. I was waiting in line with Melanie, and I don't remember which of the kids I had. I had some of the kids, and we were getting food there.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy right behind me was like, hey, you're on YouTube, aren't you? I was like, yeah. He goes, dude, and he had his phone open, like showing me that he was subscribed. He's like, dude, I watch you guys all the time. I was like, oh, cool, thanks. And like I was telling them what I wanted on my bowl, and I wanted to try to talk to him, so I talked to him a little bit, but I didn't want to bother him, and I don't think he wanted to bother me, but I didn't want to just like ignore him either or anything. So
Sure.
it was
Yeah.
it was unique too, to the sense of like around here especially, it isn't very often that someone's like, oh hey, I watch you guys. Like, oh
Yeah,
cool,
sure.
thank you. But
Yeah.
no, that's funny.
Yep.
It's the
Yeah.
doctor who was taking care of your
know.
dad. Well, congratulations on the house, and I'm
Thank
glad
you.
your dad's home and doing better.
Yep.
Yep. That's
It's been,
exciting news.
I've been quite exhausted the last couple weeks, but he got to finally come home 2 days ago, or 2 nights ago, I should say. And I think that's the first time that I've felt like an enormous sense of relief since all this stuff started happening. Like that night and the day after, I was just I got to actually be like excited and start working on my house, So
Nice.
the best of times, the worst of times.
Did you say to your dad, vindication? That's funny. I like that.
I know that he's going to get a kick out of mentioning that to all of his friends.
Since our last podcast, we didn't have a whole lot. I think, did we have one podcast in October? I think maybe.
I think so, and I think it was just me and you, right?
Yeah, maybe.
It was
Sounds
me and
right.
you just talking about whatever we could.
Whatever was going on at the time. Since then, we had Halloween and stuff too, and spent a lot of time. I like to try to like do matchup stuff and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I was talking to Melanie about what she wanted to be, so I could try to figure out what I could be and stuff too.
Sure.
And we didn't really find anything great. Eventually, she ended up wanting to do Beetlejuice.
Okay.
She'd gotten this Beetlejuice dress. She did up her makeup. She added some weird, freaky stuff on her face too. So like Beetlejuice has like that weird kind of like mold looking stuff on his face.
Yeah.
Looks like one of those guys from like Davy Jones from like
Yeah, it's like
Pirates,
algae
where it looks
or-
like algae growing
yeah.
on him or something like that. But
Or moss.
I got to be an Among Us when we went to do this one trick or treat. Kanan was an Among Us. That's what he wanted to be, and it was a blow up.
Is that what they're called? An Among Us?
It's a crewmate.
yeah. Okay.
But if I just say a crewmate, you might not know what I'm talking about unless I
Yeah,
say
I
an,
know.
an Among Us crewmate.
There's just something about calling it an Among Us that sounds like wrong and old.
Well, if I said an Among Us, it'd be a Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? That's a point. I don't know if it's the right point you needed to make, but it is one.
So yeah, it is one. But we went to the store and he got one of those, and then I was like, you know what? I'll get one of these too. So he got a blue
Yeah.
one, I got a red one, and the red one had like horns on it. But we went to it was like a trunk or treat,
Okay.
and when we were there, he had trouble like it's kind of like the sumo suits or the dinosaur where like it blows
They're
up.
like
Where they're like
inflated,
inflatable.
sure,
They
yeah.
have like
Inside,
a battery pack
but-
and fan.
Yeah, but these ones had like you could see through the mask, the visor, but it was also like it was like an astronaut one where it was like reflective on the outside. Like it was
Oh.
almost like that.
It was like mirrored texture.
Yeah,
Kinda.
That's cool.
So like you couldn't really see into it. and Kanan was having trouble trying to hold his bag because his arms were kind of farther away, reaching around.
That's
so
fine.
I held one bag side and he held the other bag side so that we could carry it together. And while we were doing that, like he'd go up and be like, trick or treat, and they'd be like, oh, look at you guys are so cool, and they'd give us each a treat. And I would just like wave and hop around. I didn't say anything.
Didn't say like, thanks for the candy.
yeah, I didn't do that.
You were literally an imposter.
Yeah.
I was an imposter getting candy.
That's brilliant. We got to
So-
do that for next Halloween. See how much candy we can get.
So that was fun. And then we had a Halloween party we went to, and that's when Melanie was the Beetlejuice, and
Gotcha.
I ended up doing a Ghostbuster outfit. And Melanie let me get a proton pack and everything too, which I showed you guys. I didn't show Rick it,
Yeah.
but I brought it in yesterday.
It's sweet as hell.
and it's pretty cool. It's like one of my favorite new
It's
little toys that
pretty-
I've ever gotten.
Pretty cool.
Is this proton pack? You can turn it on.
Yeah.
It makes noise. It's not like the HasLab one, which those ones, I wish I would have gotten one of those. It went for like, I was looking up the other day because I was like, well, what are those now? But there was like one of those $400 types of put money in this and you can get one of those eventually.
Sure.
And they're like between $1,000 and $2,000 now or something.
Wow.
Like it's
Okay.
crazy.
Yeah.
At least what I was looking at yesterday when I was
Yeah,
looking
those
for
are
it. But,
that's nuts.
but I think it's pretty good, and I might try to like mess with it and modify it a little bit. There's cons and stuff I've gone to where I've seen people do like the Ghostbuster cosplay type of stuff, and there's charity events and stuff too. And it might be cool just to make my own. Honestly, I like it more than I like the suit I had. Like the jumpsuit wasn't as cool. Oh, Jake went and got my proton pack because I just have it sitting downstairs. Yes, this is my proton pack. Rick hasn't seen this yet either, I don't think. But it has a little button.
I still haven't.
I can power it. Say you have.
No, I still haven't.
It does that. It shoots. And it lights up. It's just my favorite new toy.
Now I
Hardest
can see
thing
it.
is getting it back on, getting the wand back on the thing.
Yeah.
But it was so cool.
That's so cool.
Oh,
Hell yeah, man.
look at that. And it's fairly comfortable. It's just hard to get through some doors sometimes. I'll put the power button back on. Thank you, Calvin. But yeah, it's pretty neat. So now I'm going to try to make a Ghostbuster cosplay suit. And I'm really tempted because HasLab just started not too long ago. It's a PKE meter and a trap.
A trapdoor.
Yeah, the ghost trap.
Yeah.
So like, and the pictures show like the button that you can push with your foot, and it
Yeah.
opens up the door, and LEDs shine out, so it
Ah,
looks like
so
white
cool.
and bright. And I was like, oh, that looks so cool.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, do I want to get one of these? But people were taking my picture as a Ghostbuster, and it had to be just because of the proton pack, you know. But
Maybe they recognize you as door guy.
no, I don't think
Could
so.
have, you know.
It's possible.
Melanie told me I had
It
to
is
walk.
the most viewed commercial on that YouTube channel.
It is I think it's the most viewed video still.
On
is
the
it-
Marietta
is it-
Memorial
it was
Health
the second
System
most. I
YouTube?
forget, but it was pretty high up there. It was crazy.
I still wish we would be able to have been a fly on the wall that day, being like, "What is going on?"
Right? Yeah. It's like, why is this so high on this? But no, that's really cool. I'm excited for that. We just watched the Ghostbuster trailer too. I'm excited for that. There's a new movie coming out,
Yeah.
so there'll be new things I can try to add to the proton pack and everything too. I
Yeah.
think with all that stuff. So yeah, the red coat that they had.
Yeah, dude, get
stuff
some
like that.
winter gear. That's gonna be cool.
Yeah, and that'd be great for trick or treat. You know, sometimes it's
Yes.
cold.
Was it cold or?
Cold or rainy or anything.
Man,
Yeah.
trick or treat this year for us was kind of a cool day, but it wasn't too bad. I'm like, oh, this will be all right. But as soon as trick or treat started, it started raining.
Yeah.
So it was just raining like all trick or treat. I'm like, dang it, this sucks. But yeah, that was one of my high notes of is just Halloween trick or treat times and stuff. I also got to start playing Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2 is so much
Spider-Man
fun.
2, yeah, on Blind Wave Gaming.
It's on Blind Wave Gaming. We're doing it here on Twitch as well, so you can watch it live either spot. The VODs are over on the Blind Wave Gaming channel if you guys want to follow that. But that game has been so fun. The stuff they've added to it, the way it plays, you definitely get like GTA 5. You definitely get those moments where you can be like, I want to be Miles. I'm gonna switch over. What's he doing?
Sure.
I want to be Peter.
cool.
Switch over to him. What's he doing? You know, and it's just cool to have that.
I've played Miles Morales on my own at home. Just because I needed something, a distraction, and yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. I really enjoyed that first game. Miles was fun, and I know everybody's as excited with Spider-Man 2. I'll jump on it at some point, but I was on your stream for, I don't know, a second just to make sure everything look good and all that stuff, and it
Yeah.
looks like a lot of fun.
It's been great.
Yeah.
I feel like everything they've added to it and done for it.
Uh-huh.
The story I've really liked too. But yeah, I'm excited. I don't get to play it again until like the 27th.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna be, and we haven't talked about it, I guess, but there's gonna be a break, so there won't be any streams next week, except for Rick, I believe, is streaming, right, Rick?
Tuesday, starting at like 2 p.m. I'm going to try to get through all of Separate Ways, which is the Resident Evil 4 remake DLC.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
So there'll be that one on next week. We still have our group stream tomorrow, which will be Mario. We'll be playing Mario Wonder. We've gotten 2 worlds of that done. And then Rick will be streaming on Tuesday. So, and then Eric, you're going to be starting up Survivor before too long, right?
Star Wars Jedi Survivor, I think right now, tentatively. And the reason that I haven't done it up to this point and maybe not until the beginning of December is just because I want to make sure that when I start it, I'm being consistent. I'm doing it on the days that I can. So I'm just going to be waiting a little bit until I know that Dad doesn't need some extra care in the evenings and weekends when I usually would stream. So, but yeah, I'm thinking right now the beginning of December is when that's going to start. And I've been waiting for a long time. I mean, waiting for me is a lot easier just because I have so much other things to occupy my time and my mind. So it's not like always on the forefront, but because it's Star Wars, it's up there.
Sure.
I had Legend of Zelda to distract me, but I think I've done a pretty good job. Like, I don't know anything about the story. I only know like the stuff we learned about in the trailers before.
Okay, so you've avoided most everything about
it. Hasn't been too difficult, or I should say, people have been very nice to not try message me spoilers.
Gotcha. That's good.
Yeah.
No, I enjoyed that as well, so I hope you enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I can't wait.
With that one, we have Spider-Man, and so like podcast right now, we have going over to the main Blind Wave channel where we have all our reactions and everything. Yeah. And then we have it on Twitch. Everything's going to be on Twitch, so you can always see all the live streams there. Mm-hmm. But then the Spider-Man is going to the Blind Wave Gaming channel.
Yep. With
Jedi Survivor being Star Wars, that will be going to the Star Wars channel.
Yeah.
That way, everything's kind of staying in their sections and stuff too. So, and then like when we have Pokemon will go to the Pokemality, and we'll have that stuff there. So. And
remember, like with all of our multiple channels that we've launched over the last year and stuff, like we're not asking everybody like, hey, subscribe to all of these. You know, of course we want you to subscribe, but just check out the videos that you're interested in. And the YouTube algorithm has gotten very good over the last year and a half to continue to serve up the videos in a certain series that you're interested in. So every once in a while, just go check out what's there, click on the videos you're interested in, and hopefully we can pop up in your feed in a way that's not annoying. You're not going to well, I don't watch every show you guys watch, but I watch these shows. So, you know, when it comes to subscribing and feeling like, you know, well, I don't want to, I got to keep up with all the things Blind Wave's doing, just click on the videos you like. That's all we ask of you. And, you know, every once in a while, throw a like there too. But appreciate everybody that's been along with us as we do a grand experiment of trying to still have the same amount of content out there, but not overloading people that do choose to subscribe to us.
Sure. Like, I've enjoyed the Pokemon stuff and everything too, but I know it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
So, like, having some of that stuff not on the main channel, but if you want it, it's still available over here. Yeah. Or same thing with gaming. Gaming was another one where it's like, we have streams, and I know a lot of people wanted it on YouTube, but sometimes it was just cluttering up a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Or it felt like either it was getting lost or reactions would get lost because we'd be having a lot of stuff. So now it's all just separate, and if you want it, just it's there.
Yeah.
We're not trying to make it more difficult. We're trying to make it easier for the people to find what they want.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. So, we probably will get some questions later on as well. So if you have questions, feel free to put those in on Twitch, and we'll get those.
I have a question.
Okay.
So we normally do bits and donations at the end, and I know how to look those up on Twitch. Are we able to look those up for YouTube as well?
There's super chats, and that's fine. I've already got those.
I was going to say I have some as well if we wanted to do those.
We'll be able to grab those, no problem.
Just want to make sure.
For example, Boombox gave 125 of something. I want to say it's euros, but I don't think that's euros. I don't know what that symbol is. It's like a backwards C with lines through it, or it's a P with lines through it.
D.
Is it a D?
Yeah.
Well, Boombox, thank you for the currency you gave. It says, "We missed you, Rick. The new website's awesome."
Ooh, yeah.
So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, thank you.
And Rick, Rick's Rick spent a lot of time on the website. He's still been making tweaks and stuff and working on things. We know there's been some issues with different things here and there that have been just slowly being fixed and upgraded and everything.
Yeah, when it comes to website stuff, if you have suggestions, the best place for that is over on our Discord, which is discord.gg/blindwave. But there's also a forum on the website itself under Talk where you can put suggestions and ideas. We're working on all the time, adding features. Trying to think.
You should make sure that you do the recommendations. You don't have to be a patron. You don't have to be on a Beyond membership. As long as you have an account, you can go. You can put on your top 3 of TV shows or movies, whatever 3 you want to pick, and that's going to be tossed in. It's basically swapping out the how we would do the big polls every year. Now,
The surveys, I call them.
The big survey where like we would just have like nominate and then vote. Now we have recommendations. So if Toastmaster, if a bunch of people recommended Fringe, it's going to put Fringe really high on the list.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to see like, okay, this is what people are wanting us to watch. So all the times that people are like, hey, how can I recommend you guys watch this show or watch this movie? This is now the best way to do it. And we have access to be able to see how many of what is being recommended by people and stuff too, as opposed to doing once a year, here's a survey for shows and stuff. And you can update that at any point. If you want to change it twice in a day, you can do that. You know, if you set it up yesterday and a new TV show launched today that you love, you can change it right away. So it's really cool.
Right now, only your top 3 count.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. I think it will show more, right? But
It will.
The top 3 are the ones that count.
It's fun for me because when I do postings to the website for like on the weekends or in the evenings for live shows, and I am adding images, when I open up the tool we have for adding images, I can see all the like recommendation images that also there, and I just kind of like look. I'm like, wow, everybody has such diverse like wants and reactions and to certain things, and I was like, man, I never heard of this. This looks cool. So I get like a daily little like, you might like this sent to me whenever I'm posting on the website.
Yeah, a surprising amount of non-Americans.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. And I always like to see that people have, I guess it's just their favorite, so they just want to rank things, but like things that we've done that. We covered that one. I like seeing that too.
Yeah.
You can also now link your Discord using the website if you're a Beyond member to gain access to some special channels.
Yeah.
So that's a new functionality.
Absolutely.
Currently, we're working on just a little preview. We're working on an easier way to navigate between movies in a playlist, so like a next and a previous
Gotcha.
thing. So if you're watching Naruto 100 and you want to go to 101, you don't have to scroll through the list and find it.
Yeah.
So we're working on that right now. Damn, there was something else. I can't remember. But that's like the current thing we're working on.
Nice. Calvin, did you have anything in the last for a bit? We haven't had a podcast to go over.
Not really.
Yeah.
My tummy's better.
Yay!
Your tummy was bad.
You look
yeah.
so much better.
Yeah.
It
There
was
were a
rough.
couple
So happy
days
for you.
There were a
don't
couple
really
days when you
know
come
what
in,
it
I'm like,
was.
I want you here because I like watching stuff with you, but you should leave, maybe. You're not looking great.
Yeah, had some kind of colon irritation. Don't
Yeah.
know what it was.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, had a colonoscopy. That
Yep.
was not fun. The prep is by far terrible.
Not even a little fun?
It's not even a little bit fun.
Calvin, we should say it's a little fun so that we can tell people, hey, at a certain age, you need to get one of these too.
Just, I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
Maybe that would have helped.
Sugarcoating.
No.
Sugarcoating it.
If you know, you know.
Uh-huh.
If you don't know, you'll learn. Nothing that they could have said would have prepared me for how much
You have to finish a sentence, or I'll fill it in, and it's not going to be good.
How much they found in your ass? Like what?
How'd you get this here?
Just so much poop. Just straight water.
Yep.
Just horrible.
I haven't had one of those yet, but
I was pretty close.
as a kid, I had a barium enema, and that wasn't fun either.
Oof.
Yeah. No,
I imagine it's somewhat similar.
I don't know. I don't really want to find out. If it's at all similar, I won't enjoy it.
One time I went too fast down a water slide. And,
It's not the same.
I don't
I've
know.
heard this one.
Yeah, it was a pretty steep water slide. Let me finish.
There was water in the bottom.
I'm sure it was nothing like it.
There was water in Eric's bottom, too.
But it wasn't a cliff.
Aaron, do you have any updates with enemas or anything?
With enemas?
Yeah.
Podcast
We all shared something, and you haven't. I noticed. So.
No, I don't think so.
All right.
Oh.
I think
Well,
I've
this could
had-
be a bonding moment for us
Well,
then.
I don't
that
think
means
I've
you're
had-
the weird one.
Yes.
Yes.
Because my butt's fine.
All right.
You can't say untouched.
Our first
You're
drive down
getting
to...
you're getting a bidet for Christmas.
Oh, man.
I was going to say, our first drive down to Orlando for Star Wars Celebration says different. But that was different.
Man, I don't remember.
You had the butt surgery.
Oh, it wasn't my butt. It was a pilonidal cyst, like at the end of my
Yeah.
tailbone, which is like, just
That's at your butt.
it's really
your
really
butt.
close.
It's
know?
closest to the butt than anything
if
else.
someone shot you there, you would say, I got shot in the butt.
Yep. And everybody would agree.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's above the crack area. It's higher. So, but yeah, that was not fun. But it being gone was so much better.
Yeah. Good.
So, same thing with that bump I had on my side.
It's gone.
Gone.
It's better.
So much better. I had to keep getting these lumps taken out of my body.
Good. As long as the lumps are not, important.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
the one in the middle of your face.
My nose.
Sure.
Never mind.
If you call that a nose.
Give a stretch on Twitch.
Stretch on Twitch. Oh. I will mention here. Where is it? Where'd it go? Real Eric, who gave $5 of super chat, also said, "Hey guys, love the dedication to making our days better, and I'm happy to see Rick. Hope he's doing better, and we've missed you in reactions."
Thank you.
Very much so.
Did I talk about my stuff? I can't remember the last time we had a podcast.
Maybe a long time ago, but how you been doing, Rick?
Like Eric, a bit of a mixed bag, I suppose. So my anxiety, panic disorder, depression kind of went haywire. Is currently going haywire. So trying to recover with that, and also I think there was a amount of burnout, like put on top of that as well. I'm actually having a panic attack right now.
Okay.
Like the first sort of stage of one.
Sure.
But so maybe I can use this as a roll with the punches lesson. for
Okay. Yeah.
How to deal with
a
them.
lesson.
But yeah, so just stepping back from being on camera because having a lot of the panic attacks, and though they're not dangerous or anything, they are distracting.
Sure.
If nothing else, to myself. I can't really concentrate on other things kind of when they're going on.
Yeah.
So I don't feel it's fair to like the shows.
I understand. Yeah.
And stuff. So, and just not when the depression was worse, not feeling like I could be very entertaining on camera. Fortunately, the depression's a lot better.
Well, that's good.
So, that's it's sort of like a multiplier in a card game, right? It just on its own, it's not too bad, but it kind of makes that's not true, but it also makes everything else around it worse in a way.
Yeah.
But fortunately, that's gotten quite a bit better. And I mean, I could talk about this stuff for a long time. I don't want to put the whole podcast on it, but just to talk about panic attacks. So they kind of come in two stages, I believe. The first one is like a reflexive thing. So like when a doctor hits your knee and it moves.
It pops up.
Right? So like the first one is just the adrenaline burst.
Yeah.
And that can come from a lot of different reasons. And normally you don't even realize why it came, but it's from some sort of stressor. So maybe being nervous about not being on podcast for a while is what caused this one. Or it could be any number of things.
What the adrenaline bursts like? What would you compare that to people that maybe don't experience panic attacks?
Yeah, so everyone has probably experienced a fight or flight response at some point where, you're in a very high place, or you're doing, you're skydiving, or you're walking through the woods and like you hear a growl,
Ooh, yeah, sure.
like your body has this mechanism in order to keep you safe from danger, and whether that's fighting the danger or fleeing from the danger, or sometimes some people will freeze. So it's like fight, flight, or freeze. In the past, you have that and your body sort of goes into that sort of combat or run mode. So like a lot of blood goes to your muscles, your breathing changes, your brain chemistry changes to sort of help you identify the danger, help you get away from the danger. The problem is when there isn't a danger. And so your body then looks for reasons to have that danger. And a lot of times what happens is the very symptoms that the adrenaline itself is causing is what your body fixates on as to what the danger is.
Okay.
So it can make your heart beat faster and beat harder, it feels like, in your chest. Really, you're just more aware of it. But people mistake that as a heart attack, for example. My big one is breathing. So it causes like a slight swelling of the throat. So it kind of feels like you're choking. And it also makes your tight chest, and it sort of causes you to hyperventilate, mainly because you're thinking about your breathing.
Sure.
Right.
That can like almost create like a feedback loop then.
Yeah, and the hyperventilation makes a lot of different symptoms worse and things. So you have that first reflexive thing where the adrenaline hits, and you will feel some of those things. But then the second part of the panic attacks that I've found is the conscious part of it. So now that you're aware of it, the thing that makes it worse is if you add fear to it, or if you add like bewilderment to it.
Okay.
Where you are now agreeing with the signal that there is a danger, and now you're freaking out about the danger. And that just sort of makes everything worse.
Yeah.
Right? But you don't have to have that second part. If you have enough knowledge, or if you are able to accept it enough, you can kind of just have that first part and just kind of ride it out until it goes away.
Yeah.
Where the problem I was having before was, you freak out about it, and then your body's only designed to have this adrenaline go for 10 to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But because you're freaked out about it, your body resets, but then you have it again. And then they just don't stop.
Sure.
So it's sort of the secret, I think, to dealing with them is just sort of accepting them. And you don't want to believe that it's just a panic attack, because there's always a different sensation that comes along. Like your brain is trying very hard to convince you.
Yeah, you got to make sense of something. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and your danger sense is useful, but especially with worn out nerves over time, it gets far too sensitive, and it is convinced that it's right, and it therefore convinces you that it's right. So finding a way to accept that, and that's kind of even going past the panic attack and accepting whatever you think the panic attack is causing. So for right now with my breathing, I'm like, okay, I'm accepting. If I can't breathe, that's fine.
Sure.
If I pass out, these guys are probably going to call the ambulance, and it's going to get taken care of. If it doesn't and I die, I'm just going to accept that too. Because not doing that puts you in a very tiny box.
Yeah.
And you kind of die already.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Sure.
Because everything gets worse, you have panic attacks more often, and you're just not allowed to do anything anyway.
So do you typically you get into that kind of mindset and then you just ride it out then, or?
Well, so you sort of get into that mindset, and you tell yourself that I can either do something about these feelings or I can not do something about these feelings. And I'll do different things depending on the situation. If I'm driving, I kind of have to do something about them because I don't want to hyperventilate to the point where I pass out,
Sure,
which is realistically the worst thing that'll happen, right?
Sure.
But if you're driving, that's not a great thing
No,
to
sure.
have happen. So, like right now, I don't try to distract myself away from it. I try to just sort of face it, let it be. I try to take a few deep breaths occasionally and just I kind of imagine it where like you're on an inner tube in the ocean and like there's a big wave coming. And if I am standing on the beach and I'm facing the wave with the full of my body, I'm going to get knocked backwards. But if I'm on something and riding it, or if I face to the side, the wave will just move past me.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same way with a panic attack.
Gotcha.
It doesn't work every time because sometimes you're tired. Like it's always worse at night.
Sometimes the wave's too big.
Sometimes the wave is bigger.
Yeah.
But you accept those failures as well.
Sure.
And you just see them as learning experiences. And every panic attack, like, I'm not trying to get rid of panic attacks. I'm accepting the panic attacks as another opportunity to get better at dealing with them.
Sure.
And therefore, I hope at some point to be able to help other people deal with them.
Yeah. Now, for those that are watching, like if they have loved ones that have panic attacks like this, do you have any like words of advice for how you can help people that you recognize? Do you need to try to stay out of their way? Do you just try to make a more calming environment?
So it's kind of, I'm also autistic, so I'll also have autistic meltdowns, which can kind of look like panic attacks.
Yeah.
There's some differences, but the big thing is it's always scarier when you feel alone.
Yeah.
So just like being with that person and reassuring them is helpful.
Sure.
So like, if something does go wrong, you're there to help them or something. For me, Maggie helps me through them a lot.
Yeah.
And, I feel like I can't breathe, but she'll like talk to me. And it's somewhat for distraction, but it's also because I'm talking, I can breathe. Right?
Sure.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So like there's different ways to like reset your nervous system. But I found like having something tangible that I can kind of show my brain of like, because of X, it is not Y.
Yeah.
Right? Helps with that, I find.
Sure. And you know what it makes me think of? It makes me think about, how lucky we are to be living in the time we live. We can have the information that we have, but just something like 200 or 400 years ago, if someone is dealing with something like that, you talked about how you don't want to ascribe meaning to something that isn't happening for necessarily this reason. But, I was reading an article about, people that had seizures back in the day, and it was very much something that people ascribe to while they're being attacked by a demon or the devil. And you demonize people that are suffering with that type of thing. And then those people, generally what you would do then is you would go send word to the preacher would come back, he would, pray over you, and then the seizure would stop. But that just happened to be around the amount of time that a seizure like that would take to finish,
it to last,
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there's a lot of ghosts and demon stories that have resulted from panic attacks. Because if you feel this great fear and there's nothing around you, what are you going to think it is?
Exactly.
Sure.
Well, then there's also the idea too, and this is what the article was talking about, is like, well, you must have done something wrong to allow this demonic force in or the devil in.
Yeah.
So then you're going through your day, your agenda, being like, okay, well, what did I do? And then you're comparing it to the various, traditions or holy books of your geographic area and being like, well, I did this today, so it must have been because of that. I'm going to stop doing that. Then you take that out of your life, but it keeps happening, So I'm glad that, there's a lot of things about today's world that I think we can look at and be like, maybe that's not as great as it used to be. But I feel like on that track, things are better.
It's interesting too because there's scientific studies that show religious people tend to be less anxious.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
Which I remember one of my therapists who's has since retired, he was a very religious person. And like he said, like, this helps some people.
Sure. Yeah.
Because like, when you have something else like to trust, you don't have to
a power structure you can trust in. Yeah, absolutely. I've looked up things where it comes to actual medical healing and trying to get people better, and praying on somebody has about the same amount of effect as just pure chance. But when it comes to resilience of the mind, like one example are American prisoners of war in Vietnam. Many of the people that created the resistance forms of communication were able to create these forms of being able to reach out to other prisoners silently and give them support. Like the most religious ones were the ones that were able to lock their mind away during the times of torture and that type of thing. And Jeremiah Denton was the guy that in Morse code told the world, hey, we're being tortured in here. And he was a very, very religious man. And he puts that up to his faith, being like, I could leave myself while that was happening, So there's definitely a strength there to the power of belief.
Yeah,
right?
No, there's definitely a crossover between religion and spiritualism.
Yeah.
And you can have one without the other.
Sure.
But like a lot of mindfulness and meditation and stuff kind of shares or stems from religious or spiritual beliefs as well. So those practices can definitely help.
Yeah.
Interesting. I've never heard anything about that with the religion of I've heard about the prisoners
Sure.
trying to find ways to communicate and stuff like that too, but not the ones who
Oh yeah.
withstood the most. It kind of makes more. It kind of makes sense of being able to have something else to focus on, being I have something that's going to help me versus
something external to yourself.
Yeah. Versus what you're saying too of when you're looking for something to solve the problem. That and the chance kind of weigh in the same, but as far as trying to find something to keep almost like hope, right? It keeps a hope there.
Yeah.
Well, and the human body is great at repairing and destroying itself. So there is a lot to be said for having a believing you will be healed and then therefore your body healing yourself.
Yeah, a placebo.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the placebo effect.
A placebo
It's
effect
nuts.
even works when you know it's a placebo.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
That a lot of different kinds of pain medication and stuff like that. They're packaged differently to say extra strength or clinical strength and stuff like that. Or to say back pain or headache pain, things like that to target those areas of the body. And you'll buy that and you'll think, oh, this will help
X more.
Specifically with my head pain, like headaches, or with my back pain or something like that. It's purely placebo.
Sure.
And your
It
body
doesn't help that part of the body any more than others.
But that's not necessarily people knowing that that's placebo, right? If someone said,
it
hey...
is just as effective if you know that it's a placebo.
Is it?
Yeah.
It can be, yeah.
Okay, because I was just thinking if someone's like, hey, this is going to help your headache, but actually it's just a sugar pill.
Sure.
Well, would that work on me the same way, if it was...
It's...
As
we have to
opposed
remember,
hey,
too,
we're doing this. Some are placebo and some aren't. Here's your
Sure.
pill. And what would that do? That might affect me more. Where I'm like, well, I probably got the real one then,
I think
But
the
I'm
real
just
thing
wondering.
to think about when it comes to stuff like that is that one of the reasons that humans were so successful in the animal kingdom, we're at the top of the food chain, is that we're pattern recognizing animals, and we're so good at it that we see patterns that aren't really there, but we ascribe meaning to them. So sometimes when you think that you're taking a medicine, or you think that you're having some type of spiritual experience, just recognizing things around you and ascribing meaning to them can bolster your mood. And your mood is so important to being in a mindset of trying to get better or trying to get away from danger or something like that. It's a crazy least in my opinion, it's a crazy evolutionary trait we have that we can sometimes trick ourselves into a better position.
Yeah.
Oftentimes we can also trick
harness our
ourselves
own
into
stupidity.
worse positions too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And you can do the opposite, like not just panic attacks, but I was having some terrible back pain.
Yeah.
And like I was starting to get really concerned about it. I was trying all these different things and nothing was helping.
Yeah.
And like that's like pains like that are something that can also come along with anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And like just coming to the point where I just accepted having that pain.
Yeah.
I stopped having the pain.
Yeah.
So
I saw a lot of people say that they appreciate you talking openly too about a lot of this kind of stuff too. A lot of people that either A, understand it better, or B, it gives them inspiration on taking care of their own people that deal with their own panic attacks and stuff. I saw it in chat and stuff a lot too.
no, I'm happy to do it. I want to do more of it on Roll with the Punches. I need to set it up so I can just go somewhere and hit a button and record.
Sure.
Because I'll get in a mood to talk about it, and then I won't have an easy way to do that.
Sure.
And then by the time you do, you're not in that mood.
Yeah.
I did see people asking like, where are you now as far as like video wise, and what can they expect to see you in or anything like that too? Like if you're gonna look towards more Roll with the Punches stuff, or
Yeah,
if you'll be in.
Well, I mean, I haven't decided on some of that stuff yet. I haven't watched a single thing, so there's a lot of catching up to do if I were to get back into any actual shows.
Mhm.
I don't like holding things up,
Sure.
which is one of the things that got me depressed.
Yeah.
So like I don't like whether or not we can record something being conditional on how I'm feeling that day. I am planning on filming a reaction with you guys tomorrow.
Yes, sir. I'm very much looking forward to it.
A movie reaction.
Yeah.
And
that one comes out for Christmas too.
That'll be our
It's like-
Christmas
that
one,
hits
yeah.
YouTube on like the 22nd of December.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about that. And Maggie and I are doing Haikyuu.
Yeah.
So that's still happening.
Mhm.
But yeah, there's definitely stuff I want to do, but a lot of my focus has been on recovering, and then also kind of getting the website in a good place to where I can leave it in other capable hands, and then move on to other stuff. But there's other stuff I want to work on too.
Sure. Which website is one of those big things that you've been working on a lot. So make sure you guys check out the new website if you haven't.
Yeah.
Rick's been working really hard on that.
It's really cool.
Yeah, and if you're interested on more of Rick talking about some of the struggles that he's had, Roll with the Punches, the YouTube channel, like even though there hasn't been some new content in a while, it still is preloaded right now with some really incredible videos that are pretty good. You guys should go check
I'm
those
happy
out.
with the stuff that's on there. You can go to rollpunches.com, and I have a free campaign journal that you can download, which has a lot of tips, and also just has like it's something I've been using during this time as well to sort of structure my road to recovery, and it's got mindfulness techniques and stuff in there too. So it's completely free. I recommend checking that out. And when it comes to anxiety stuff, I really recommend Claire Weeks. She's sort of the pioneer of anxiety stuff. She's no longer with us, but she has some books and some audiobooks that are very, very good. And I definitely recommend if you're having problems with anxiety, panic attacks especially, but she also talks about depression as well. So,
Gotcha.
And I find there's a lot of crossover in the treatment for those two things.
Another Rick-related thing. Mike Cabbages says, I wanted to tip my hat or my head for the D&D campaign. It's the RPG that did for October Halloween stream, which Rick set up and worked on. It was amazing. If you haven't seen it, please do so. Which also, that's going to go on the Blind Wave Gaming channel tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning?
Nice.
So if you haven't watched it, the VOD will be up on the Blind Wave Gaming channel tomorrow. But that was a lot of fun.
That was so much
That was
fun.
a blast.
A lot more stuff to that than I thought it was going to be too. And it was neat.
You can watch me regret choosing an accent in real time.
No, that was a blast. Maggie helped a lot with that as well. So big thanks to her. And that's something I've been doing in the off time. I started another role-playing campaign at home last week.
Cool.
So one of the things when it comes to recovering from anxiety is you can't just sort of lay in bed because a resting anxious mind is not resting at all because you're going to be anxious about things.
Yeah.
So being engaged in things, particularly things that you're interested in, I'm finding is sort of the best way to recover.
Sure.
So I'm starting off a campaign at home for that reason, although it's been a hard thing to do. I think it's been a good thing. And I want to kind of get back into it and stay sharp, so maybe we can do more of that stuff in the future.
Oh, please.
That would be
so
lots of
good.
fun.
Would be fun. I would enjoy that.
Yeah, definitely. I've consumed a decent amount of tabletop RPG, not playing myself, but watching others. I've watched some Critical Role and Dimension 20 just because I've been getting more and more into people that improv content.
Yeah.
Right? Like, RPG, there's a certain element of improving a story.
Yeah.
Especially when it's a group of, voice actors, yes, but, storytellers that can it makes you go into a different direction, and how do you respond? That's always really fun. Whose line is it anyway with comedy? Harry Mack when it comes to rap,
fun.
That type of thing. I've even been watching people that improv dance, like couples dance, like that. Like it just takes a special skill that's different from the other. So there's been a part of me that's like, I would one day like to do my own. Like I want to do be the general, what they call them. Right, for D&D, I guess it's the
DM.
The
or the Game Master or the.
Just because I always am searching out different ways that you can tell stories and react to the players. I think that'd be really fun to do, and then just come up with crazy characters and voices and scenarios and stuff like that.
No, I
think it'd be fun to try out one day.
It'd be neat. I mean, you can start just like creating a world. And then, eventually, okay, now once I have my own campaign, we can go into this world that I've made.
Sure.
You kind of have ideas of characters made up and stuff like that. But then, sometimes you just have a team that doesn't go it all the way you want it to go, and it went somewhere else. You're like, I don't even have people over here yet. Who do I make a new guy?
Yeah. No, I mean, we kind of do improv reviews, if you think about it, in a way. Like a person that's an actual reviewer of television and movies is going to go, they're going to absorb, they're going to go back, they're going to get in front of their computer or a pad, and they're going to think out and self-edit themselves. I need to do a little more here and here. But we are watching something for the first time and then immediately talking about it. So, I mean, oftentimes that means that, you'll get stuff wrong or you won't, but trying to improv that is a fun challenge for me sometimes, So maybe that's why I'm kind of being more fascinated with people that can do that type of thing off the top of their head,
Sure.
We should definitely make that happen. I think that would be fun to play with something that you run.
Yeah, do just like a one-shot or something would be fun. I don't know if I can do anything too much bigger than that.
Maybe we'll do Dread, because that's pretty simple.
Dread?
That's what we ran for the...
oh, okay.
For the Scream Stream one.
Okay.
With the Jenga tower?
Yeah.
Okay, the Jenga tower.
Using the Jenga tower and everything. Like it was fairly simplistic as far as the game style of everything.
Not like Carl Urban.
Yeah, I was just saying that's why I did
Yeah, I feel like deep down, creativity and particularly storytelling is just innate to humanity.
Yeah.
So don't stop pretending when you're a kid.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's a healthy thing to do even as you get older, and tabletop role-playing games are a fun way to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've been trying to get one at home going just because, one, I want to work on voices, and I want to work on, the improv style and my imagination of what it is, because I feel like my imagination is not there, and I'm trying to remember more of, when I was a kid, what I imagined whenever I played, and I feel like most of it was me taking things that I knew and putting them into place, not I never had an imaginary friend that was this is something I've made up on my own, and he's, big, and he's green, and he has a tail, whatever it is that he had, just...
But you still imagine, even if you are a Power Ranger, your own episode of a Power Ranger, right?
Did
you do that kind of stuff when you were a kid?
I don't know. Like I remember pretending that there were like other 00 agents when I was pretending to be James Bond. But like I would just be in an area, I'm like, there's guys coming from all over, and I'm just shooting people. You know what I mean? Like that was, I remember that being my imagination, but I don't remember like what the story was. You know what I mean? Like,
Dude, when I
You just started cracking up and like I just started shooting people everywhere.
I don't know. I just remember that.
I know, like when you're a kid, the game doesn't have to be complex.
Yeah.
And you can still have lots of fun with it just because you're exercising that part.
I remember my grandma would be outside smoking, and she'd like take her cigarette and pretend to shoot people too with her cigarette. It's a secret agent weapon, you know? I don't know, whatever it was. So
That's hilarious. I sometimes would have the opposite problem where out on the farm I would like, pack up like one of my backpacks with a bunch of action figures, and I'm gonna have this great toy war in the woods. I'd go out in the woods, I'd start setting up the different camps, and start writing out lore why these guys are fighting and who's in charge. And then by the time it's like, well, by the time I'm about ready to start and actually play the game and play and have fun, the sun's going down. I gotta pack everything up, and go home.
Get back home.
So I spent the day planning.
That's funny.
Never actually play the game.
No, I had a pack for like spy stuff that I carried with me. It had like my dad did inspection work, and he gave me at one point, it was like a little mirror on like a telescoping stick. So I could send it out and be able to look under stuff or look around a corner or something, and had things like that. But yeah, I would like follow my dad around while he was like working. He's doing something important, and I'm just following around like he doesn't know I'm there.
I gotta tell you my favorite thing that happened too recently when my dad came home, and we were going around his place because he had someone at his house turning down the thermostat, getting his mail. Anyway, he got home and he's walking around. He can't walk very well right now, but he's walking around trying to like fix everything, right? And he asked my brother to come over and help him out with something. My brother, is in the corner helping, and he has a flashlight, and my dad gives him the flashlight. Here, hold this. He can barely walk, he can barely stand, and my brother's 40, and he's been relegated to the flashlight role, and he just looks at me like, I can't believe this is happening. I can't tell you how many times I was the flashlight holder in the garage whenever we were taking apart engines, and that's what I did because I couldn't be trusted to do anything else.
Rick, what was it that we were doing where we were at your place? We were like building like a science project or something like that?
Yeah, so it was a science project. We needed a way to be able to filter out like sand, basically. So like it had like an amount of like gravel in it, and we were supposed to be able to filter out the fine stuff. And my dad has a lot of tools. He's a mechanic, but he had some woodworking stuff as well. And our general idea was to make like a freestanding sieve with multiple layers of different fineness.
Yeah.
Right. And so we had like tomato steaks and like chicken wire, like that kind of stuff. And our intent was that he would provide the stuff and we would build it ourselves.
Yeah.
But at least when it came to the power tools, he handed them to Aaron and said,
yeah, I think there's one time he gave it to you and you did something. He goes, give me that. He's like, here. And he gave it to me instead. And I was like, I've never done tools here at all. And he's trusting me over him.
Yeah, we did, we did firewood all the time when I was a kid because we had a wood burning stove. And not until I was like 30 was I allowed to use a chainsaw.
I will say I don't think my dad ever let me do the chainsaw part. I think I was allowed whenever we were doing like log splitting. I was able to do I could do the splitting manually, or I was allowed to do the press thing that we had, the hydraulic splitter.
The only reason I was allowed to do the chainsaw is because Dad got what's basically tennis elbow, and he couldn't do it.
Gotcha.
So I had to do it.
Yep, I remember that.
The hydraulic splitter was such a game changer.
And also,
oh yeah,
oh my god.
Also, my dad was correct.
Yes.
I still probably shouldn't be trusted with most power tools.
You're like, I just handed it to my daughter. She did better.
Yeah.
All right. Well, from Twitch, we've gotten a couple things asking. One about also over on YouTube, I believe that there was a.
Let's do some questions.
Well, it's not a question per se, but it's about. Did you guys cover the Game Awards nominations? So the Game Awards is coming up soon, which we were actually just talking about before this on covering that. We covered it last year.
Yeah.
The only thing I saw was that there was some scuttle as to like what exactly is an indie game and what exactly is an RPG.
Really?
But other than that, I don't know anything.
Is that because of what's on the list? Maybe we should look at those lists for best indie and best RPG.
I assume.
Because I've only seen the Game of the Year ones, and I don't think we need to cover all these real quick here. But we can maybe look at a few things. Like I don't think most of us are gonna know the best esports athlete. You know what I mean? But we have best Game of the Year, we have best RPG, best indie, and stuff like that.
I've been watching a lot of Justin Wong, but he's kind of in his twilight years now when it comes to that stuff. So.
Gotcha. But I'll say thank you to Raymond, who gave $2 for a super chat about the game nominations, and then Lano asked a question on Twitch about the Game of the Year nominations. So I can look at these real quick here. You want to start with Game of the Year?
Sure. Let's start big.
It's the only one I know. So Game of the Year right now is between Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Mario Brothers Wonder, and Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Now I'm gonna.
It's a hell of a year.
This is one of the best Game of the Year lists that I really remember.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, these are all pretty good games.
Yeah.
Like honestly, the probably the one lowest to me is probably Mario Brothers Wonder, and I don't know why it's the lowest one because it does some interesting things with the mechanic that it uses. You know.
You think that game is like paced for and intended for just one person playing, or multiple people playing? You know?
I think it's a little bit of both because like
there's online multiplayer built in.
Yeah,
like, I think it's more intended for like siblings and friends to play together than like primarily only one person.
I guess maybe just because as a kid I'm chasing the feeling of playing Super Mario World by myself, locked in my room after doing farm chores.
I think it's set up for both. I think there's like you play through it alone and it has one feel, and you play through it with friends and it has like another feel, and there's other things you can get.
Gotcha.
Because there's like secret blocks that you find easier if you have certain people with you, right?
Yeah.
If you have Luigi with you or if you have Toad with you.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool too.
Gotcha.
I don't know what will win this one. I think I've heard a lot of good things about Baldur's Gate 3, but I haven't played
Me too. I've heard a lot of good things about that game.
Baldur's Gate is amazing.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2 has been a lot of fun, but I don't know if it'll win Game of the Year. Like Alan Wake 2, I heard someone say that it kicked off something that was going to be on there. Like Survivor was really good. I enjoyed that a lot, but it's not on this list either.
Yeah, it's not on there, is it?
And it came out. What was that? April of this year, I think.
Yeah, April.
So I don't know. Tears of the Kingdom might do really well. What do you guys? Go ahead, Eric.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I always am uncomfortable trying to select one of these because I feel like I can't truly pick until I've played every game.
Sure.
All I can say is it's probably obvious what I would go for, but I wouldn't even say it was because I thought it was a very good video game. I was just so emotionally invested in the Tears of the Kingdom story this time that it's going to skew me unfairly to it. So,
I mean, I think
it's almost not worth me picking.
But like gameplay-wise, Tears of the Kingdom is a triumph.
Oh my God, yeah!
All the things you can do in it, and how open it is,
and not just because of what it pulls off, but how it pulled it off. Because so many games. I mean, how many games in the last 2 years released, and then you see like that apology letter that's all formatted the same across all these things, being like, "Hey guys, we know that there's a bunch of bugs, and the game isn't necessarily finished, and we're gonna try." Whereas Nintendo finished Tears of the Kingdom a year before it was released and spent that entire year doing what they could to make that experience better. And for me,
and I think you need to with all the stuff you can do in that,
so
with
much.
the
physics engine,
the building and physics mechanics of it.
You definitely need
and the
that.
complexity of it all without having to resort to menus.
Yeah.
Like just being able to do all that sort of in-world is just mind-boggling.
It's not perfect. There's certain things with, trying to make the menus as simple as possible that can be a little jarring, trying to select the right thing for your arrow. It sounds weird to complain that I have so many options, but if I even today, like one of the reasons that I love that game so much is because I'm still watching a daily YouTube channel that says the best things that happened in Tears of the Kingdom this week or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just people making these
And there's
incredible
still new
builds
things popping up
and
with it.
trying something new and being like, can I do this? And 90% of the time, the answer is yes. You just have to try enough. I really like that. But I know that something like Baldur's Gate 3, with the type of game that it is, there's a lot of putting yourself into the game that way as well. But I don't have the experience of it, so I can't tell you Tears of the Kingdom is better. I can only root for my side, right?
Yeah.
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 Having
in the
not
same
much-
way that I haven't played Tears of the Kingdom,
Mhm.
I have played a lot of Baldur's Gate 3, and it's hands down my top on this list.
Yeah.
Like, no question. The replayability and the depth of the world
Mhm.
and the characters and the voice acting
Yeah.
and the mechanics of the game, like everything is just top notch.
Yeah.
The music is amazing. Jake knows.
Yeah. I mean, part of me wanted to like try to play it like with us and stuff too, but like it's just so big and I feel like it's so long and
It is.
there's so much to do and
There is.
like
I've-
either we'd give up or it would just take a long time to get through.
I've barely touched, well, except for Resident Evil 4, everything on that list except Spider-Man 2, which I haven't done at all.
Gotcha.
I get the feeling that Baldur's Gate 3 is one of the best CRPGs of all time, but I get the feeling that Tears of the Kingdom is one of the best video games of all time.
Gotcha.
It's hard for me to find things I don't like about it.
I think you're a good one to ask on this too, Rick, because I've seen conversations, and I think even we had a little conversation at one point. But Resident Evil 4 being a remake and not like a new game, what are your thoughts of it being on Game of the Year?
That's tough too. And I just real quick want to mention a year where Final Fantasy 16 doesn't make the nominations is a crazy year.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, that was another
That's
one this
right.
year. I think that's what Alan Wake 2 knocked off.
Because
That's what somebody said in chat.
Wow.
I also haven't done a lot with Alan Wake 2, but I might put Final Fantasy 16 over that. I don't know. It's close. But
I haven't done 2 yet, but I played the first Alan Wake and the DLC for it, and that was good. So I'm excited for Alan Wake 2 at some point. I just need to get to it.
My opinion on the best video game, my favorite video game of all time, is a little different, but Resident Evil 4 is my favorite video game of all time.
Sure, yeah.
And it was remade. And like, even if I think it's slightly worse than the original, like, I don't know. I think it might still win.
Yeah.
For me, like pacing is a big thing for me in games, and design intention.
Yeah.
And like, Tears of the Kingdom gives players so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of the designers saying like, here's your sandbox, go have fun.
Yeah.
Right?
Very much so. Like
And-
you create the pace, you create the story, you create the way that things happen in the game.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's not that I don't respect that,
Mhm.
but I respect a tightly designed experience more.
Sure, I understand.
And I think Resident Evil 4, the remake, still offers that.
Now, does it
Probably
feel,
the best you can find in gaming.
Does it feel more like a remake of the first game, or is it? Since I haven't played, I don't know. Is it more similar to like Final Fantasy 7 had a remake, but it was much different compared to the first game, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's quite as big as of a departure as 7 remake, but it's not a straight one-for-one remake, for sure.
Okay.
Like some of the mechanics are different, but not quite as different as Final Fantasy 7 remake. All of the locations are basically the same, but some of them are in different orders, and either expanded or shrunk. There's new enemies in the game.
Gotcha. Okay.
The characterization of some of the characters is definitely different. That's the one thing I will say the remake is better with overall is these side characters are more fleshed out and largely more likable, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, like, that's tough. I would probably still pick 4, but I couldn't say no to anything on that list.
Yeah, I'm not going to
No.
be upset if anything wins on that one, honestly. It feels like there's a lot of real strong
Except maybe
ones.
Spider-Man 2, which I didn't love Spider-Man 1 as much as other people.
Yeah,
It's still an 8 out of 10, but
sure.
I love it so much. I don't know if it changes things as much as like some of the other games do and whatnot, but I really think Baldur's Gate 3 will probably win, mainly because like when was the last Baldur's Gate game? I feel like it's been a while. Alan Wake is in the same boat where like there hasn't been an Alan Wake game for a long time either.
Yeah, it depends if you count the remakes or I guess they're technically remasters maybe. Those came out not all that long ago. But yeah, the originals, it's been, what? How old am I?
I do this all the time. The older I get, sometimes I'm like, how old am I right now?
All right. But there's those. I don't know what's going to win. Best Direction is another one that has basically the same category of games, except not Resident Evil 4. So it's the same ones with that.
Gotcha.
Which is just really good direction. I think, I don't know which one will win with that. Marvel Spider-Man, if you want to look at direction-wise, maybe as far as like story and that kind of stuff, I've really enjoyed its story, but that's also me saying it, not really knowing the story of like what Baldur's Gate 3 does and what Alan Wake 2 does, you know? But I know that's not going to be just story kind of stuff. It's going to be things like innovation and designing, you know? Like Mario Wonder had some really cool level designs that utilize those seeds in some weird ways and cool ways, you know?
Thanks, Gara.
Gara, thank you so much for the
50 gifted subs.
Thank you,
Congrats
Gara.
to people in the chat for getting your gifted subs. Thank Gara. Thank him.
Yes. Man, I had a point and his generosity made me lose it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thanks, Gara.
What were we even talking about? Oh, yeah.
This is best game direction. So it does say game direction and design is what it's looking at.
Going back to Game of the Year real quick, can you imagine that a Bethesda RPG is not on that list?
Starfield.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the one that I was thinking of.
Everybody is shocked that it only has one nomination.
Yeah, and I haven't seen what that one is yet.
Yeah.
And like I have not played it, but have seen a fair amount of it, and I think that's fair. Like it seems like it's an incredible video game, but still somehow disappointing because just of the last game they put out, I think, right?
I think this year has just been solid on a lot of games that have come out.
Yeah.
Like there's just been a lot of really good games.
A lot of games, only so much time.
Yeah. Like here for best narrative, there's Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Spider-Man 2. And then there's Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty and Final Fantasy 16.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars came out this year, right?
Yep, Jedi Survivor.
Yeah.
That's not on the list?
Nope, none of these so
Not
far.
so far.
Interesting. I know that game had a rough launch, but with stuff like story, I would figure maybe it might make its way on there.
Yeah. It's really hard, like Eric said too. Like I've been playing Spider-Man 2, but these other ones I haven't touched, so I don't know how they are narratively. You know, what kind of story they have. Best music has Baldur's Gate 3 on there,
as it should.
Is
Alan Wake 2,
Yep.
Final Fantasy 16, Hi-Fi Rush,
Oh yeah,
and Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay. Because come on.
Eric was holding on.
Yeah.
I wish it had been the first one on the list, and you just omitted it until now.
The music in Spider-Man 2 has been great,
fan,
though.
I've been a Zelda fan for almost 30 years now at this point. Like,
How old am I?
Yeah. It is the greatest soundtrack in the Zelda franchise. And I say that being the kid that I would literally listen to the Ocarina of Time soundtrack on the way to my varsity football game, you know, to get pumped. It's something super special. I have not complaints, but I have things that I would do differently in almost every other part of that game. But the soundtrack is baller. Oh,
Aaron,
it's so good.
Is Hi-Fi Rush nominated more than Starfield?
Does 2 count?
Yes.
If Starfield only has 1, then yes.
No, that's
Best Art Direction
crazy
was
that's like the
Hi-Fi Rush's.
Xbox game that's nominated this
Hi-Fi
year.
Rush is also nominated for the next one, which is Best Audio Design, which has Hi-Fi Rush and Marvel Spider-Man 2. So I'll take that because I think the music and the things they've done with it have been really good. But it's for in-game audio and sound design.
Gotcha.
But the other 3 are all horror, with Resident Evil 4, Alan Wake 2, and Dead Space. Which you did play Dead Space, Eric, and I know you don't have both ears,
Yes.
but I think the sound design in Dead Space is so good.
Jeez.
It's so good.
Another.
It's good. It's scary. Just like Gara. It's good. It's scary. Gara. Another.
Another 50 subs
Thank
from
you so
Gara.
much,
Thank
Gara.
you, Gara.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
I thought I might have went back in time for a second.
I thought
Yeah.
chat wasn't scrolling.
Dead Space had a fantastic sound design. Of the horror games that I've played, easily the best for me.
Yeah.
As someone that has a very complicated relationship with hearing, and
I don't think it's all that complex.
it's
I think it's simpler than mine. I think it's half as much, Eric.
Yeah.
Like that's. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, I can get overwhelmed very easily, and horror games of all the genres overwhelm me the most, and that one immersed me the most.
Yeah. I think it's one of the best things. I think Dead Space has a great immersion. The UI is really good and stuff too. Like, it's done really well. But that category has 2 remakes as well, with Resident Evil 4 and Dead Space, which is interesting.
But yeah, like any other year, I think that Dead Space remake would be up for contention for Game of the Year. Like, that's an incredible game, and that's an incredible remake.
Yeah.
Also, we talked about soundtrack, but Final Fantasy 16 soundtrack is so good. It's the best thing about the game.
Is it?
And so much about that game is incredible. But that soundtrack is just other level. It's like, it's better than Game of Thrones.
Well, it's on there. So
Masayoshi Soken, he was going through cancer treatment while he composed it as well.
Really?
Wow,
Yeah.
really?
It might be, I'm trying to think, it might be like my best fantasy soundtrack ever. I might like it more than Lord of the Rings.
That's amazing to hear.
Maybe.
I love hearing that. I want to once again reiterate that I
Fuck
hate
cancer?
when we put art up against each other.
we have to choose which art's better.
I know.
Okay.
Which one's the
Ranking
best
art.
I read the best art, and if you don't pick the best art, you're wrong.
Ooh.
Speaking of, we should do who's the best performer. They had Ben Starr for Final Fantasy 16.
Okay. Ben Starr.
Fantastic.
Cameron Monaghan, I think is how you say it.
Yep.
There's G in there. I don't think you
So
pronounce it.
he's
Monahan.
on there. Good.
Yep. First, Jedi Survivor. Idris Elba for Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty.
Spoilers.
I had no idea.
No,
that
I
was
think
in
I knew he was in there.
He's in the trailer.
Melanie
I think.
LeBird for Alan Wake 2.
there. Okay.
Neil Newbon for Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah,
Okay.
Neil. Oh my
And-
gosh, he's so good.
And Yuri for Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
Which,
Yeah, that's
so
gonna
good.
be a good one.
He's great with that.
I know little about the Spider-Man 2, but I imagine he showed some range as Peter.
Oh yeah. It's been really
Just
good.
having seen some of the trailers.
Dude, just some of the stuff in there is just so good. I don't even get a chance to really talk about it because then we go into something else. And when
Yeah.
I'm playing, I'm like, I don't get to talk about the acting
Gotcha.
that he's doing, the voice acting and stuff. It's done really well.
Well, I'm going to go for my boy Cal Kestis in that one, just because it sounds like this might be the only thing that Survivor's up for so far.
Sure, yeah.
But
no.
there's a lot of really strong performers in that one.
Yeah, there is. This one I just want to mention because I love this being a category still. Innovation and accessibility.
Yes.
Recognizing software and or hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by even wider audiences.
Yeah.
I just love that they're doing that. There's so many things they've done over the years to be able to try to incorporate and allow more people to be able to play. But you have Diablo 4, Forza Motorsport, Hi-Fi Rush again, Rick.
Yep.
Spider-Man 2, Mortal Kombat 1, and Street Fighter 6.
Cool.
So I love
Also,
it.
Street Fighter 6 and Diablo 4 came out this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're not
That's
on
so
Best Game of
many.
the Year or anything, you know?
Street Fighter 6 is so good. I haven't played Diablo 4, but I've heard better things than when Diablo 3 came out.
Yeah.
And I like Diablo 3.
All right. Let's see. Best Independent Game, Rick, or Best Debut Indie Game? We have both of those, too. So.
Okay.
Best Independent Game. We have Cocoon,
Okay.
Dave the Diver, Dredge, Sea of Stars, and Viewfinder, which I'm not familiar with any of those.
I'm a little bit familiar with Dave the Diver.
Yeah, I've seen that played, and I'm pretty interested in playing
It looks really fun.
And then the best for debut indie games are Cocoon, Dredge, Viewfinder, Pizza Tower. Eric, there you go. You
Yeah,
know,
hell
you
yeah.
know Pizza. You work there a lot.
Yep.
And Vinba. I don't know any of those either.
Mm-mm.
So
Pizza Tower. Gonna
Pizza
take it.
Tower.
I haven't heard of Dredge. There was one other one I hadn't
I'm
heard
gonna
of.
contact my bookie. I'm putting everything on Pizza Tower.
Everything.
Your bookie.
My bookie.
Viewfinder.
Let's see here.
The Whipple bookie.
VR best action game. What we got for that? Armored Core 4, Dead Island 2, Ghost Runner 2, Hi-Fi Rush again, Rick, and Remnant 2. Hi-Fi Rush is on quite a few things.
It's a hell of a game. Came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I wonder how well it sold. I hope it sold well. I hope it's not like a Psychonaut situation where like it wins all these awards and no one plays it in the studio. Doesn't it? Psychonaut Studio didn't shut down, but like I hope they get to make more.
Best action adventure.
Oh.
So you have Tears of the Kingdom, Resident Evil 4, Alan Wake 2, Spider-Man 2, and Jedi Survivor.
There we go.
So here's the only time I've seen Jedi Survivor so far.
Okay.
I don't know. Tears of the Kingdom, probably, I assume, but
Sorry, was Hi-Fi Rush on the indie list?
no.
Okay.
I don't believe so. No, it wasn't on either of the indie games.
Okay.
I think it was on Action Game.
Cool.
The best RPG has Final Fantasy 16, Baldur's Gate, Lies of P, Sea of Stars, and Starfield. So there's the Starfield nomination.
I've heard
Octopath
people.
Traveler 2's not on there? That's really surprising, actually.
Mm-mm.
I've heard a lot of people that really, really enjoy Lies of P.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen anything
Everybody
about
that
myself,
I've heard
but-
of
Yeah.
playing it has said it's like criminally underrated.
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah.
It looks real good, but it's a Souls-like.
It
and
is.
there are other Souls game I
There's-
haven't played.
I need to
Yeah.
get in,
So
I need to get through so many more of those. I
Yeah.
need to get through Dark Souls, all those. There's Bloodborne I haven't played. There's
Demon Souls.
Demon Souls. What was the one you tried?
Oh, fuck. You asked me too quick.
Elden Ring.
Elden Ring,
Yeah, I
yeah.
need to do Elden Ring.
I need to do Elden Ring and Bloodborne.
I think
I really
it's-
want to play those.
I think it's the one open world game that you would like, Rick.
Oh no, I'm sure I would.
I shouldn't say the one,
Yeah,
but
I like
it is,
The
it is
Witcher 3.
another open world game that you would like. It doesn't rely on the.
It's funny because like, every week I check out the Steam sales just
Yeah.
to see what's there,
Sure.
and it has one of my best features where on the card of the game it says like a description of the game. There's a screenshot. There's like, audience reviews like overwhelmingly positive or whatever.
Mhm.
But there's also like tags that people have given it, right? So like horror or multiplayer or whatever.
Yeah.
And so like I love that because I can see open world and scroll right past.
You can just like ignore all titles with that in there as well,
Open world.
if that's easier for you.
All right. I just want to say in best fighting game, like there's Pocket Bravery and God of Rock. I don't know what those are. Nickelodeon All Star Brawl 2.
Okay.
But this year we have Street Fighter 6 and Mortal Kombat 1, like both
Yeah.
in it for the same
Yeah.
year. So
That's gonna
I figure one of those two will win,
that'll
but
be a good
Probably.
fight.
I assume there's also one that I saw on Steam. I think it just came out that I kind of want to play.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do on a Friday or something. But it's called Checkmate something.
Yeah.
But it's basically that Mortal Kombat mode from like Mortal Kombat Deception or whatever, where it's chess, but when you go to take a piece, you have to fight.
you have to fight. Oh, I remember
Oh,
that.
my
that was
gosh.
so cool.
Okay.
But it's got some cool ideas to like add into that, where the chess portion actually matters a little bit more, because if
Okay.
you have pieces defending your piece, then you get assist characters that you can bring in during that fight.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I
So
like
that-
that. I haven't played Mortal Kombat 1 yet. I know, I think it was Eric and Calvin played it maybe for stream one day. Wasn't it? Or did we end up not getting
I
to do
think
that?
we
We ended up
canceled
not
that one.
doing
Did we have
that.
to cancel that one?
no, we played Street Fighter 6
I
on
didn't
stream.
play it.
Street Fighter 6, but not Mortal
Yeah,
Kombat
not
1.
Mortal
Oh.
Kombat 1.
Okay.
No.
I remember
Yeah.
there was a plan at one point, and I think
Yeah.
we ended up having to cancel it, but I still haven't played Mortal Kombat 1 yet at
Yeah.
all. All right, last few that we'll go through here. We have best multiplayer game.
Yep.
Diablo 4, Baldur's Gate 3, Street Fighter 6, Mario Wonder, and Party Animals. Which I do want
Oh.
to try out Party Animals at some point. It looks interesting.
I remember seeing that.
It's similar to like Human Fall Flat, right?
Kind of. It looks like Gang Beasts and Human Fall Flat
Yeah,
kind
Gang
of
Beasts,
things mixed
yeah,
together a
that's the
little
other
bit. I'll mention this one because of Rick. Best Sim Strategy. There's City Skylines 2, Company of Heroes 3, Fire Emblem Engage, Pikmin 4, which I haven't gotten to play that one yet, but I just played through Pikmin 1 and 2 this year for the first time.
Okay.
Nice.
That was fun. And Advanced Wars 1-2 Reboot Camp.
Hmm.
I mentioned it just because of that, Rick. Because I know you were really excited for that one.
Yeah, no, I love that reboot. I love. I have mixed feelings about Fire Emblem Engage. But overall, it's a positive feeling. And yeah, I haven't gotten a chance to do Pikmin 4 yet.
Yeah.
I want to.
I'm still I beat Pikmin 2, but I'm kind of doing some extra things that are still left over. Because the credits ran, but it's still letting me play. So I'm like, I guess I'll do this stuff. Best family, we have Party Animals, Disney Illusion Island, which was the 4-player like Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, Donald. Sonic Superstars, which I forgot. We had a Sonic and a Mario Wonder both come out this year. Which Mario Wonder's on here and Pikmin 4.
Gotcha.
The best family. It's pretty stacked too. Pikmin, Sonic, Mario, and then Disney and Party Animals.
Mario will probably win that one.
And then 2 left here. Most anticipated game: Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Hades 2, Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth, Tekken 8, and Star Wars Outlaws.
Outlaws, yeah.
Which I'm excited for Outlaws a lot.
That's probably the one for me.
Which, shout out to Hades 2 for being able to be on that list. Being from an independent studio, like so much smaller studio than everyone else on that list.
Yeah.
They really knocked it out of the park with Hades.
Hades came out, and it felt like it just took off.
It's amazing.
It just blew up.
So do you think we're going to be watching the Game Awards live again this year?
I think so, because a lot of times, too, they do some trailers and stuff for that.
We should make it interesting this time. We should gamify it. We should, all pick and then do points at the end, see who won the Game Awards.
Oh, yeah?
I think that'd
Okay.
be fun.
So a bracket?
Like a bracket.
Yeah, like a type of bracket or
Maybe we all do
point
that.
system depending on the category.
Everyone do that, and then we can, go over some of our listings in the pre-show that we do, and then we can see what happens. That could be fun.
And that way, you're really rooting for it.
Yeah.
You know what day Game Awards is?
What's that?
December 7th.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what other thing happens that day?
What?
Weed's legal?
Weed becomes legal in Ohio.
Okay, we will celebrate both at
Recreational
the same time.
marijuana use.
That happened, too, since our last podcast.
Yeah.
So I forgot.
And also, more importantly, reproductive health care and
That too, yeah.
stuff like
Absolutely.
that is also allowed now.
Yeah.
It's nice to
That's in the
allowed.
It's
the
basically
Constitution.
it's
Well,
basically protected and prevented from
it's
being
protected.
removed.
It's in the Constitution
Yeah.
of Ohio now.
It's nice when you can be proud of your home state.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen often.
Though I've heard that there's officials and stuff trying to say oh, the people didn't know what they were voting for.
Oh no, Aaron.
And
Oh, that one guy was
judges
like,
won't be able to make decisions. and
this is
random
why a
stuff.
People don't know what they
democracy is
want.
not the good way to run a country.
Yeah.
Yeah, after they
Fucking
failed
idiot.
trying to take away our ability to vote on these things. Okay.
So,
Yeah,
anyway.
so much effort into making sure that didn't pass.
Yep.
Yeah.
It still did.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Take a hit if your pick isn't chosen. That would be okay.
Oh, that would be terrible.
All right. The last category is for best
good.
adaptation.
I was hoping you were going to do this one
Yeah,
last.
yeah. All right, which we have Castlevania Nocturne.
Oh, okay. See,
Which-
I was thinking the other way, and like
Okay,
a
I
video game that's
understand.
an adaptation of something else.
Yeah.
So I was,
yeah,
I was
we're
confused.
looking at shows and movies that have been adapted from a video game.
Okay.
But yeah, Castlevania Nocturne, which I haven't seen that one yet. Gran Turismo,
The movie.
the
right?
movie.
Yep.
I haven't seen that one either. There is Last of Us, which we watched and reacted to that one, and I thought that one was really good.
Uh-huh.
There is the Mario Brothers movie, which we watched and reacted to that one as
The
well.
Super Mario Brothers movie.
Super Mario Brothers movie, yeah, which is good, And then Twisted Metal, which I haven't seen yet.
Oh yeah,
I haven't seen it
Starring
either.
Samoa Joe. Kind of.
Samoa Joe.
Yeah, but then voiced by Will Arnett, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
it is.
gotcha.
I don't know. I'd probably say Last of Us would probably take this.
I feel like it. Yeah.
But
I mean, if only because episode 3, in terms of an adaptation, told me a new story that was
Yeah.
quite beautiful.
Yeah.
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 That was pretty good.
Twisted Metal's been on my list where I'm like, I either want to react to this or I want to just watch it at home with Melanie or
Yeah.
something like that. But
Mhm.
I really enjoyed the games back when I was younger. I remember playing them with Rick and stuff too, and that's one that I want to see. It also has Falcon, Anthony Mackie.
Yeah.
Anthony Mackie, yeah.
Yeah, I want to see Castlevania Nocturne. Definitely. Because I did not like what I saw of Last of Us, and I did not like Mario movie.
I'd like to see Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo could be interesting.
I mean, just the fact that it is based on a real story as well as a game and is
Yeah.
now a movie. It's an interesting thing.
And since
know
I
a
watched
few
Initial
actors that
D,
are
I
really
just
cool.
like car things more.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's all of those. A lot of the other ones are going to be like some studio stuff, esports teams, esports players, and stuff like that too, athletes. So, but no, some pretty cool nominations. I'm excited to see, and it's crazy some of the things that aren't on the list because of how many things just came out this year. You know,
Yeah.
just a lot of really good stuff.
This will be an all-timer, I think, in terms of games that came out in that year.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah.
And then also, watch along with us too with the Game Awards, because I always like to see, especially with E3 gone now and some other things, just how much marketing they can throw in there for new stuff. And how organic they can make the transition to it. It's always fun.
For sure. All right. I guess we should announce to our next podcast. We haven't done that yet.
Okay.
And then there's some questions and
We got some questions and stuff. Let's do it.
Super chats and things like that we can do. So there won't be a podcast next week.
Yes.
I believe we said we're going to be taking a break next week. There will be Rick streaming on Tuesday. So you're going to do that with Resident Evil's DLC. But the next podcast, which is on the 30th, I believe. Right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Right? This looks wrong.
Be the 30th.
Yeah. So on the 30th is going to be our tier ranking of TV shows. We're going to be reevaluating.
We're going to be ranking shows, Eric.
We're going to
It's
be
the best.
looking through what
time
shows,
of the year.
doing all that. If we can get it all done in one, cool. But probably the next two that we do, and we'll be ending the
We're
year
not
with
gonna
that.
get it done in one.
We're going to get like 90% of them done.
Yep.
And then we'll have like a little bit left for the next one.
Yep. How
And
many
then,
things do we have to rank?
69?
69 things.
Nice.
I believe that needs to be added on.
Yep.
And then on the 14th will be Badonkagonk. So that'll be
Gotcha.
the last Badonkagonk of the year as well.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, make sure you guys are tuning in. Not next Thursday, but the Thursday after. And it should be a fun time going through and seeing how things rank and if anything gets kind of moved down or up and from our previous ones. So yes.
I'm excited for that.
And
If only for the discussion. Not the point.
all right. We'll cover a few things with the super chats and questions and stuff like that too. So we'll go through some of that.
Shout out to everybody watching on YouTube.
Yes, thank you everyone on YouTube. Thank you everyone on Twitch. Appreciate you guys being here and asking questions as well. All right. I'm going through real quick here. Hazel Para
Okay.
gave a super chat for $5. Says, Eric, thoughts on Star Killer in Force Unleashed? Are you opposed to him being canon? Vader having an Anakin-like apprentice is a great story.
Yeah, I'll keep this brief because I could talk about this forever.
Yeah.
But Star Killer at his base, obviously we all like to think about him being incredibly powerful and how he's Vader's secret apprentice. But to work him into canon, I feel like you kind of have to make him an Inquisitor, and an Inquisitor storyline is going to be very different than what made Star Killer very special, which is his kind of like childlike look at the things that aren't about being a Sith. With the girl that he falls in love with his friendship with Proxy, and all those things are really important to me when I think about that character. So I don't even know if I want a version that doesn't have those things if he's just an Inquisitor. But if we're going to do just more of like a cameo appearance, sure, I think that'd be fun.
Yeah,
But
I think it could be cool.
I thought Hayden Blackman, who was the director of those two games, did a great job. And I kind of in the same way, when you do Thrawn, you need to talk with Timothy Zahn. If you're going to do Star Killer, you need to talk with Hayden Blackman a bit.
We have where are we at? Palizard, $5 says Baldur's Gate 3 was so great. Other AAA devs were telling people it was so exceptional that it shouldn't be compared to any other game. Thank you so much for the $5, Palizard, and the little information for Baldur's Gate 3. Appreciate that. Leafy sent 35 ZARs.
Okay.
I don't know what
Let me look it up.
I don't know what ZAR is, Calvin. Said there is a place in my country called Tweebuffelsmeetingskuutmostadgestefontein.
Can't believe you nailed that.
Love to hear you guys try to pronounce it.
Okay, I was like, where are we going with this?
Love your vids.
Well, shout out to that place.
Yeah, to Leafy. I don't know what Czar is.
That's good.
Nailed it. Thank you, Eagle.
I think it's South African rands.
Okay. Leafy also gave another 14. It says, Rick, thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
Man, I don't know what these currencies are. Autistic Bot gave 100. Said, I love seeing your guys' videos every day, and I genuinely love the passion you guys put into each video. You guys are still one of the underrated channels.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Autistic Bot. Gamer Harold,
Harold.
gave $2 saying, hello, Blind Wave, hype it up.
Mr. Harold.
Thank you, Gamer Harold.
Hype it up.
That's rupees. Yeah. That's Zelda, Calvin.
Nope.
All right.
Where do you think that came from, Aaron?
Video game imagination. Leafy, another 14 Czar says, your D&D is the best D&D I've ever watched. Well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
There's other really
It's also
amazing
the only
D&D
one he
out
watched,
there,
yeah.
so definitely check it out.
If you haven't checked it out, check out our Wave Squad Star Wars RPG that you can find on the Wave Squadrons channel. That one was fun.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed that.
And
Yeah,
we have
Wave
our
Squad is
Halloween
great.
one going up tomorrow.
Yes.
On the
Check
gaming
out
channel.
the Dread one. What's it called, Rick? Dread
Dread the Antarctic.
the Antarctic. Raccoon Shampoo, $5 says YouTube stream. Yep, you'll be able to find VODs on YouTube and stream, but make sure you hop over to the chat. That's on Twitch. That's what we've been watching.
Yeah.
We'll look at super chats, but not the main chat. Leafy35 says Aquaman is not a popular hero, but I think an Aquaman game might be fun. What superheroes do you think might make good games or mechanic gameplays and so on?
I've thought about this a lot. I want a Daredevil game. You know how
Damn it,
like,
Eric.
in Assassin's Creed you have to go up and like get a high vantage point so you can form out the map. I think a Daredevil game would be cool where like Matt has to go and echolocate like and create his map. So like places he hasn't visited, he literally can't see yet. You know, I think that'd be kind of a cool idea and a cool way of doing a video game.
Of course you would want to play a game like that.
Yeah.
You would feel like a superhuman.
Yeah.
You could hear real good.
Yep.
That's a dig for taking my idea.
Okay. Thank you.
Fine, I'll do a Punisher one.
A Punisher one.
Yeah,
that'd be
where you
good.
have to like balance your morality along with dealing with the scumbags.
Okay.
I can get behind that. I like the idea that like if you start punishing too much, like the Avengers will come after you.
You have to stay street level.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I don't know if I want exactly the movie, but I want a Dread video game.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, Eric.
Okay, yeah.
Now it's that kind of game.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the cover your eyes up and
Yeah.
sneer.
Exactly.
I don't know. I think I'm trying to think of like interesting heroes and stuff that have cool powers. I thought about like Martian Manhunter or someone who can like be able to go through walls and stuff too, where like
Yeah, that'd be
level
cool.
design would be very interesting when
Yeah.
you can just walk through walls
No
sometimes.
clip on all the time.
Yeah, right. Like
Bunch of-
imagine playing a Star Wars game where you can actually just cut a hole into a door or a wall if
Yeah.
you really
Oh
wanted
my
to.
gosh,
You know?
it would make so much easier.
Bunch
We're
of
talking about
Oreo-
Red Faction.
Just
Oreo
gonna make a
cookie
highway
tiles.
from one objective to another.
But also playing like Fantastic Four, where you can also like be Reed Richards, but like utilize his stretchiness into like really creative options. You know, would be really cool too.
That'd be
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
Harina VA, $10 says Sea of Stars is an RPG in the style of classics like the Chrono Trigger and Super Mario RPG.
Yeah, it's on my list.
Sea of Stars.
Yasunori Mitsuada, Chrono Trigger's composer, was even a guest composer on it.
Oh,
Cool.
Okay, cool.
I'm excited for Super Mario RPG because I never played it when it came out on Super Nintendo, and they're remaking it, so
Yeah.
I'll get to play it for the first time, which would be great.
I remember renting that game, having no idea what an RPG was,
Yeah.
and just being Mario, cool, and then getting home and like, I don't know what this is.
What is it?
Where's the jump button?
El Bukhari, Sid Ahmed, sent €5, says your follower with Palestinian family. You make the rough life much better. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Best wishes.
Mm-hmm.
To you and your family. Kika Gamma with €2. Will Vinland Saga return? Season 2 was so good.
Man, when we got to the end of season 1 and they had like a little bit of a tease of what season 2 was gonna be, I was like, I'm excited for that. So yeah, it's definitely gonna happen. We got some other things that we're catching up on right now too. But
I had
it will happen.
Like at the end of season 1, I had the air let out of my balloon, but also was intrigued.
Yeah, Ascalad.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
All right. I want to thank Samantha Slade for the £1 and Steve for the $1. We have Raymond who gave $2. Says, "What are you guys thankful for and happy Thanksgiving?" I mean, you can always say family.
What was the question?
What are you thankful
What are you
for?
thankful for and happy Thanksgiving?
Modern medicine.
Yeah, family's always a one that you can definitely say thankful for, especially when you've had with you and your dad going through what he's been going through right now, and modern medicine being able
The
to help.
trial and error of many in the medical field for the last couple hundred years. I'm thankful for that. It took a lot to get where we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for my proton pack.
Yeah.
I said family first. Now I pick something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Family, pets, friends, all of our wonderful fans for, supporting us and letting us do this.
Yes.
This is great.
Absolutely.
All right. Palazar at $5. Super psyched for the re-rankings. Rick, have you gotten a chance to rewatch ReZero? It helped me a lot when dealing with similar issues.
Yep. It's so good. It's probably the best thing I've ever seen when it comes to anxiety without being directly about anxiety.
Yeah.
So good.
Raccoon shampoo, $19, $20 actually. Can you weigh in on my own personal award for movies and TV shows this year?
Okay.
What's the best/worst side quest and best/worst henchman?
Side quest and henchman.
In video games?
And TV and movies.
In TV and movies.
Yeah.
Side quest
Side
in
quest.
TV? Okay.
I think something that was on the side, sometimes when you watch Ben 10,
Yeah.
you get here's a story that's a really good story, but isn't necessarily tied to the main story.
Does
or something,
Shikamaru Shippuden count?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. Sure, man.
That was really
Bury
good.
those motherfuckers.
Yeah, I don't know, Raccoon. I'm trying to think who the best or worst henchman would have been, too.
Henchman.
Well, can we call those two guys from Naruto henchmen that you guys hated that they didn't do
If they
anything?
are, they're the worst. Oh, my gosh. Worst.
They're not henchmen.
Worst henchman for Shikamaru. Hands down.
Yeah. Now, I know that when we say this year, we're talking about what we watched this year, not necessarily what came out this year.
Out this year?
Sure,
I don't
yeah.
even know what came out this year.
Yeah, I haven't seen all the movies.
All the movies? Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
That would be pretty fun for us to do our own personal award show where it's just the stuff that we reacted to that year, and we do little awards like
We
this.
talked about doing that for movies because we can't just do all movies.
No.
We
That's
gotta
kind of
segment it up
our
somehow.
ranking show on podcast, Eric.
Yeah, but this one would be fun for me.
All right. Steve sent $2. Says, hope you guys enjoy the Ultraman DVDs.
Yes.
Thank you so much. The one collection, the tins,
The,
is so
the
cool.
steel boxes were
Yeah,
so cool.
Those are real cool.
Yeah.
If I should watch one Ultraman thing, what is it?
Oh. I don't
It's
know. Waiting on Steve to answer
50
it.
episodes and 2
Steve,
movies.
well, Steve, you got to answer that in the chat, but it's on Twitch. Michael gave $2. Says, why no One Piece live action reaction?
Because we need to finish
I don't want to spoil my next
the
1,000
anime.
years.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Think about how much disappointment there would be for the next 1,000 years. It was, I've seen this bit in the movie. Yeah.
We just made so many people angry and soured all at once.
Yep.
But
Well,
we also
there was-
reminded them that another episode's coming.
That's true. That is true.
eventually.
I'm glad people have liked it. The Cowboy Bebop one, I liked it for reasons that had nothing to do with Cowboy Bebop, you know?
The anime, yeah.
But it seems like a lot of people like the One Piece, and I saw that there was a trailer for Yu Yu Hakusho as well that came out.
Which I have not seen.
Yeah, so.
You guys have not seen that show.
Yeah.
I will burn this place down if we do that live action before we do the anime.
There are several people in chat that are soured.
Yeah, I know. I would like to do the One Piece live action, if only because I'm aware of one actor.
Yeah.
Aaron, are you aware of the same actor
Of One Piece
in the
live
One
action?
Piece show?
No, I don't know of any actors in it.
He's an actor from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Well, now it narrows it down a lot.
It narrows it down a lot, but you know, you still
of
don't
all
know it.
the actors ever,
Yeah.
huge narrowing.
Well, yeah, but I also know like who Eric's gonna pick out of those kind of things. It narrows it down a bit. He's not gonna pick like that guy. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah, he was an extra.
Yeah,
in the
right?
back.
Like-
yeah, and now he's an extra
Okay,
in
well,
this.
it must be like this.
In this one scene, you can see his wrist reach through the window of this car.
Diane D2, $5 says, well, actually, I might not go through this because it's just asking questions about Secret Wars. And I think a lot of that's going to have like us really speculating with spoilers and stuff that maybe people haven't been caught up on yet.
And
so.
we appreciate everybody that's watching on YouTube, but it is a lot easier for us to moderate on Twitch and sometimes on YouTube. People like to spoil, even when they don't intend to. They do, and we have to protect ourselves.
Yep.
Otaku Galaxy, 25 AED. Any new non-English show you're planning to react to soon?
I desperately want to do more Korean dramas. I had so much fun with The Glory.
I want to do more Tollywood, Bollywood movies.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, it's been so long since we've done RRR. We need to get some movie reactions in there, too. But
Yeah.
And I want these guys to watch Kurosawa someday.
Samantha Slade, £2 says, "Are you guys gonna watch the Doctor Who trailer?" I'm gonna say at this point probably not. The specials are supposed to start up here in December.
Yeah.
And we'll just wait. I've seen some BBC stuff in the past where like I feel like they give a lot away.
Okay.
And I love to be able to be surprised watching some of the cool stuff that they have. So I'm really excited for what's coming.
The last Doctor Who thing I watched was one of the biggest surprises of Doctor Who.
Yeah, which apparently people already knew about. You know?
Yeah.
And
that was disappointing to hear. Yeah.
It's so much exciting when you don't know this stuff. You know?
Yeah. Apparently, it's United Arab Emirates dirham.
Well, thank you, Otaku. Maro Lee, $20, says, "Thank you so much for all the great content and reactions, especially to the reactions to both Ahsoka and Loki, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Those were really fun.
Really good.
Thank you.
Christopher.
That's my favorite side quest.
Yeah.
You two know what I'm talking about.
From
which show?
Yeah, I think I know what you mean.
From Loki.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll do that with you. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good one.
Christopher Nguyen, NOK, 20 NOKs. Have y'all considered watching One Piece? We talked about that one just a little bit ago.
Norwegian Krona.
Maybe in the future at some point. Who knows? Ty Kroner gave $5. Says, "Been subscribed for years, but only learned recently that I'm from the same hometown area as y'all.
What?
Big fan of you guys. Keep up the great work." Well, thank you so much, Ty, and appreciate you watching.
Ty.
Are you a heart surgeon?
Yeah.
All right. El Bukhari, Sid Ahmed, another €2. Says, "Eric, are you planning to read the Hunter x Hunter manga?"
I am.
Rick
Yeah.
is?
Thank you for reminding me. I kind of want to start from the beginning with the manga.
Yep.
I still have
Always start.
2 volumes of Berserk I have to get to. See, I haven't had a chance to actually do any reading of anything for quite some time other than audiobook. But I'm doubling down. I'm putting a spot in my house that is exclusively for reading, with a nice lamp, pleasantry there, and I'm gonna. That is on my list for this year. Hunter x Hunter manga.
I might just wait till it ends, though.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
I
sure.
don't know. Right now, I'm reading Go-Go 13,
Okay.
which I'm enjoying more than I thought I would.
Yep.
All right. Leafy with 35 Zars. Love to see you try more snacks and stuff from other countries.
Oh yeah.
Eric, you need to watch Lilo and Stitch even if it's on your own time.
Never seen Lilo and Stitch. That might be a good reaction.
We've seen some animated stuff, especially like older animated stuff more recently. So that could be possible. It'd be fun to see.
That Kung Fu Panda 2 sometime.
When you say older animated stuff, Are you talking about How to Train Your Dragon and Kung Fu Panda? Because
I'm
I'll
talking
come over
about-
there and slap you.
It's
I'm
older.
talking about anything that wasn't made in the last
10 years.
5 years even.
Yep.
Ridiculous.
All right. Let's see. Ray Lee says, "Will you guys be watching the Percy Jackson trailer?" I don't know.
None of us have read the Percy Jackson books, correct?
I don't know anything about Percy Jackson really.
Maybe we'll get Jancy in on that one because she's read all the Percy Jackson books.
I think Carmen's read some.
Yeah, I mean I'm intrigued, but I really, that's a fandom that I've heard before saying that they don't love their adaptations. So I want someone with a voice to be able to say if they're enjoying it or not.
Maybe if we haven't read the books, maybe we'll like the adaptation.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. You're
True,
right,
yeah.
definitely.
Maybe they have a prejudice.
Mm-hmm.
You always get, Pierce Brosnan is a centaur, man.
Really?
All right.
Well,
Okay.
if you know, you know.
Didn't
but
expect those words to
not
come
really.
together.
All right.
Rick, do you have the bits thing open by chance?
I tried and I failed.
Tried and you failed.
Sorry.
Okay. Oh, I know. I'm well aware. I'm just trying to get ahead of these.
Yeah, the only thing I can get open is the questions that were redeemed in Twitch, but not bits and donations because I need the token.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Because I
Follower.
like every, I don't know, what is it, 5 years, 10 years, I switch web browsers. Forever it's been Chrome, but I've switched.
You've switched.
I've switched to Edge.
to Edge.
Really?
Yep.
I
have.
don't blame you. Chrome is
Okay.
such a resource hog.
We have a whole other
I don't have
topic
it
for
now.
another podcast.
Damn.
Yeah.
You know what?
I
pretty damn good.
I can't fault you, Rick.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I haven't tried it for a
You
decade.
should try it.
I should try
You
it.
should try it.
I thought about trying that. What's that gaming one? It starts like a G or something like that.
Oh,
It's Opera, right?
Is it Opera?
Opera GX.
Yeah.
Opera
Yeah.
GX. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought about trying that at some point.
I'd like to try that.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I have them now. Here we go. All right. So last couple things here. We'll get through the rest of the bits and stuff too.
Okay.
Leafy35. If you like Ben 10 and the game prototype,
Okay.
might like Generator Rex series. What is
Generator
movie
Rex.
/ series you're looking forward to do?
I'm looking forward to Skeleton Crew Star Wars series with younger cast, Jude Law, having some adventures. I think it's going to be different from everything else we've had from Disney Star Wars. I'm excited for it.
For live action, I'd like to do What We Do in the Shadows.
Well, that'd be fun.
For anime, I think it's probably Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate 3 would be great.
Wait, what?
Not Baldur's Gate 3. Battlestar Galactica.
Okay.
I had the wrong BG in my head.
Yeah.
I'm also reading what people are saying
No,
too,
yeah.
and trying to get through some of these things, and I was like, that one, I said the wrong one.
No, I'm really looking forward to what Eric said, and also, if ever, Stargate SG-1.
Big Dude sent 2 pounds. It says, do you guys have any plans to finish Peaky Blinders?
Oh, I want to finish Peaky Blinders.
I haven't watched any of it.
Yeah.
You should catch up, Aaron.
Yeah, you should catch up.
There's some very good Peaky Blinders.
Yes,
There's
is.
some not so good, but there's some very good Peaky Blinders.
There is some.
And it has one of your favorite actors.
Yes, it does.
It's cool.
Yep.
Sam Witwer.
That's 2 of your favorite actors.
Buried the lead, man.
Hollow Avarice gave $10. Says the poll voters are foolish for denying you. Have you considered watching Yu Yu Hakusho?
Oh, yeah.
Every day.
We've definitely got stuff in mailbags, so that's happened.
Yeah.
If you want to help with recommending stuff, make sure to check out our website. There's recommendation stuff that you can do there. It's
Yes,
great.
go to blindwave.com, make an account, go to profile and recommendations, and you can put 3 there, and we see that
Yes.
in real time.
We do.
So if you change it right now, I'll know.
It makes a difference. Every single vote.
All right. We have Becky, who is subscribed for 22 months now. Thank you so much. Tetsuo47, who is subscribed for 53 months.
Thank you.
Stormhover, who is subscribed for 31 months.
Thank you, Storm.
There should be
Thank
memes
you.
popping up as well to enjoy the randomness of you guys. Gustavo Bruno, 47 months. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
How
Gustav.
many months?
Yizing for 33 months says, hello, Rick. Hope you're doing well along with the rest of you guys. Do you have any impressions you can show off? excluding Aaron's excellent Donald Duck.
Darn
it.
Eric does an amazing
Russian.
Yes. But you can see
Tomorrow.
4 hours of that tomorrow.
Yes.
During Mario.
Yeah.
People were missing it.
Yeah,
And
you got to
also-
come back for that impression tomorrow.
and also the horror RPG
Yep.
going live.
Yep.
That's tomorrow as well. So yeah. Anyone else with really good impressions of
I
anything?
am terrible at impressions.
I had an old man that did pretty
Yeah,
well.
the old
Yeah,
man.
people like the old man.
My greatest weakness is a game master.
Your voice changing.
Yep.
We our last Badonkagonk, we did a lot of Palpatine impressions.
Sure.
You ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
You want this, don't you? I love when you say that kind
Or
of
else
stuff.
Palpatine.
this?
See, Calvin's so much better.
All
with
these
those.
memes are amazing, by the way.
But yeah, I don't have too many. I have an old man one. I have a Donald Duck one.
Why is Baba putting on aftershave?
This is when the one
Howdy.
quote happened when I was like, sometimes I'll practice in the shower, Melanie come in and laugh at me. And it just turned like, I'll practice in the shower, and Melanie will come in and laugh at me. That was the quote. I'm like, dang it.
That's right.
That's the quote.
Okay.
The Baba scared one was she kept getting scared during the Scream stream.
Oh, yeah.
Baba
she
did
By
get
did.
scared during the screen.
Calvin
Yep.
and
She asked me to
Aaron.
come over and look at her monitor. And then she got scared of me.
Leafy looks like they gifted a sub. Thank you so much, Leafy. And Leafy gifted another sub. Thank you so much, Leafy. Once two subscribed for the first time. Thank you so much, Once two.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Fried McGibbs, 41 months.
Ah, that's great.
Hello, guys. Hope y'all are doing well. Doing really
Thank
well.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
North D Tag for 9 months. Thank you so much.
How did this become a meme? This was a private
like-
game with our editors. How
It's
did
like
this,
a Clippy meme.
How did this work?
Well, that was on one of the newest.
It's on the website
It
now.
was
Yeah.
on when I did a
that's
Dead by
okay.
Daylight stream, and that's the viewer
Yeah.
icon now of them against me.
We had a meeting with our editors for this year, and we played this game about drawing, and this thing came up, and now it's a meme.
This is the image on our 404 pages.
That's awesome.
Now.
Okay.
We were like, it's like Clippy, but Blind Wave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Aiden.
Thank you, Aiden.
Yes. It's awesome.
KZ for 32 months. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Daniel, thank you so much for the 100 bits, and I did see this. Thank you for bringing it up too. They cheered 100 bits asking for the Ink Tank channel on YouTube.
Oh.
They were in and they asked this question in
Okay.
case you missed it. But do each of you guys have your favorite Ben 10 alien?
Ooh. There's a lot. of good ones.
Probably Echo Echo.
Yep.
Fuck
The
you.
Echo.
He's so useful.
Yeah.
He can
He's
split.
not.
He can be in more than one place at a time.
Nope.
He's great. So good. Clones himself, you know. Clones
Mine
good.
is the rarest.
X,
Yeah. 10.
but you don't get to do anything.
I think mine's still upgrade.
Not that you don't get to.
Upgrade's
you just
great.
have to
Upgrade
be
is real
convincing.
good.
You like Upgrade. Big Chill, maybe.
Big Chill is pretty cool. yeah.
Upgrade isn't an alien anymore,
What the?
right? Aren't you talking about this series?
Oh my gosh.
Well, no, I'm talking about this in general.
Look at my
but-
Ted Lasso.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that
I
one's
have my
great.
mustache.
I like
Yay!
Heat Blast because it's Steve Bloom.
Yeah, no, that's always the correct answer.
Because it's what?
Steve,
Steve
Bloom.
Bloom.
Steve Bloom. Oh, okay. Sleepy Otaku with 12 months says it's been a year, eh?
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you.
Thank you for
Congrats on the year.
sticking with us for a year.
This is it 20 for the first time. Thank you so much. Malik gifted 27 subs. Thank you so much, Malik.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
LKG for 53 months. Diggus
Thank you.
Bickus for 58 months.
Wow.
Wow. Almost
more
5 years.
than the states that we have.
It wasn't that. The accent was not that bad.
Gara for 6 months. But then Gara gifted 100 subs. Thank you so much, Gara.
Thank you, Gara.
I can't believe Gara's only been on for 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Thank you for all the gifts.
And then Zlak for
That looks
14
good.
months. Thank you so much,
Does look
Zlak.
Thank you, Zlak.
Thank you.
Ahsoka Simp 7 for 13 months. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Thank you.
Mimi Kumi for 4 months. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was good right there. That was great.
I love that.
I'm sorry. What was the last one there? I didn't hear it. I had ringing in my ears.
Mimi Kumi for 4 months.
4 months. Thank you, Mimi.
And then I believe Anonymous gifted 16 subs.
Oh, wow.
Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Wyatt Montgomery gave $5 and said, interested in hearing Eric's thoughts on a Zelda movie?
Yeah, there's a Zelda movie from the directors of one of the Planet of the Apes movies going to be coming out. I have complicated thoughts about it, only because it's something I've been thinking about for a long time. And as we know, having expectations of what a story is going to be is always the recipe to love something.
There you go. Yeah, it's great.
You know, I feel so bad for Jake because there was one day where we were trying to figure out what our movie was going to be. I'm like, maybe we could do Shin Godzilla. And his eyes lit up and we ended up not doing it.
Yeah.
I was really mad that day.
I know. I'm sorry. I do want to see it, though. I do.
I don't
Jake?
know where. Oh, go ahead.
Do you want it knowing that Aaron will hate it?
I'll accept it.
All right.
Okay.
I don't know where it went, but I thought Steve sent one as well saying any Ultraman is good, but I think he said his favorite was Taiga, something like that.
Okay.
TIGA?
I believe so.
All right. I'll write it down.
If I remember correctly. And then Leafy35, Rick is live action Ben 10 on your bad movies list.
Oh.
Also, Percy Jackson is a fun bad movie.
You know, I didn't think about it until we were having this podcast, but I was considering next Thursday continuing the ranking of bad movies,
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah?
but I'm not sure.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that was a fun bad movie for sure. I
was-
definitely have added that to the list.
It was definitely something going into and watching that. So,
Aaron,
lot of
you'll understand this.
That meme. Yeah. Some great memes today.
hey, just give me your internet. Give me your power. I just want to play Spider-Man. All right, guys, that's all the bits, all the super chats, all the subs. Thank you guys so much. We didn't get to very many of the questions from Twitch, but we'll have more time on future podcasts, so make sure you guys follow. Tomorrow we'll be back. You can find us on Twitch and on the gaming channel doing Mario Wonder.
And
then-
on the gaming channel, check out that RPG we did.
Yep.
Tomorrow as well.
Yes, that'll be on the gaming channel as well, so make sure you
Oh,
head over there
God.
and check it all out.
I know.
Whoa!
That one,
Aaron's chest.
his nipple's too high.
That's a deep cut, Calvin.
All right. Guys, I don't know if that's all the memes, but thank you guys so much for
that's a
joining
loop.
us. We appreciate it. And we hope to see you back tomorrow for Mario Wonder.
Thank
Have a
you.
good one, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.